Hello everyone, Brad Johnson here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing in a very special type of video here. This is the Adronis Top 5 video episode, and I'm looking to do this on a monthly basis. So these 5 questions are just accumulated from common questions I get either through YouTube comments or Facebook messages or emails, and so I just basically amalgamated 5 commonly asked questions that have been posed recently, and of course maybe a few months in the past as well too. But every month this will be coming forward, this top 5 questions for Adronis. As mentioned, we are moving into a 4th density planet, and it will be necessary to shed some emotional weight for us to move into this new world. What can one do to help them center and welcome in these emotional states that require healing? Leo here. At this time, we bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. To answer your first question, what must you do to allow yourselves to become centered, to enable yourselves to clear this particular form of emotional baggage? Well, in order for you to firstly become clear, to become centered, you must have the willingness to do so, because many of you in that sense become very heavily involved with your day-to-day affairs. Much of it is 9-to-5 work. Much of it is in that sense running errands, paying bills, paying rent, paying mortgage, paying car payments, etc. All of these particular forms of, shall we say, errands that you are moving through each and every single day, and that you do not give yourself enough time to reflect inwards. This is a very high recommendation, that you are at least giving yourself some time each day reflecting inwards. And as you start to reflect inwards and begin to enjoy your own company, and feel that you are trusting yourselves and aligning with yourselves and being able to explore your own inner universe, this is where you are becoming in the appropriate state of vibration to look into areas that you feel are troubling. This is not, shall we say, rocket science. The whole key is that you are spending more time with who you are, because as we have said many, many times, you are the only one here. This is your universe. And we mean that in the most literal possible way we can. We are not exaggerating this. That this is who you are. You are creator. If you are looking for your God, you are looking for your goddess, look in a mirror. That is who you are. If you truly want to feel that you want to allow yourself to get into your own inner space, make time for yourself, that you wish to center yourself, make time for yourself. Give yourself that particular type of energy. It is not about the idea of saying, well, Adronis, I have to, or well, Adronis, but this, or but that. If you are going to continue to make excuses for yourself, you're missing the entire point. It is not about feeling that, well, as much as I would love to do this, I don't know if I have time to go inside myself. I don't know if I have time to look into these emotional matters. Can't there just be an easy button? No, there isn't. There is no easy button. These are your emotions. These are your expressions. These are your energies. They're not your mother's. They're not your father's. They're not your best friends. They're not your neighbors. They're yours. You created these particular aspects of emotions upon yourself. If you truly want to see harmony within yourself, you need to become that potential of harmony. This is the catch-22 here. If you truly want to see the enlightenment come into yourself, enlighten yourself. That's how it's done. That's how you appropriately center yourself, by saying that today I'm going to give myself some attention. Today I'm going to go within. Today I'm going to relax. Today I'm going to check in with myself and see what is happening in the world of who I am. Looking into myself and discovering these particular emotions I'm still holding on to that are preventing me from looking into a reality where my life can truly be authentic. You cannot live an authentic life if you keep living inauthentically. If you are working at a job that you know you do not enjoy, if you are constantly bickering with people that you know is not benefiting anybody, if you feel that you're going through all of these particular turmoil-based situations, you need to look at this. This is why this is happening. For you to take a look and saying that I am not in my comfort zone. If my comfort zone is a playing field and I'm dealing with all these situations, I'm constantly running out of bounds. I am constantly listening to the referee who blowing the whistle and saying, hey, come back here. You're constantly going out of bounds. You're hardly on your playing field at all. So you need to go into yourself. We have, again, discussed this many, many times with many of you. And that some of you, yes, are starting to understand. Make time for myself. Some of you are still feeling that I would like to, but. And some of you are just afraid to look inside yourself. These are your own situations. We cannot force you to look inside yourself. You have to allow yourself to surrender, to drop the shields, and look inside yourself. So when you wish to come to center, that is when you are making time for yourself. That is when you're allowing your own inner courage, your inner strength to come forward and saying, I am going to look inside myself today. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to look into these aspects of myself that I feel are constantly keeping me in a state of out of bounds. So that I can come back on my playing field, so that I can work within my comfort zone. This is how it's done. You have to be your own master here. You have to be your own authority. You have to allow yourself to surrender, to commit to yourself, not so much the outside world. The outside world is beautiful, and there is much here. But there is even more in here, much more than what is out there. But in order for you to see that, you must make time for yourself, to come to center, to align, and to see this for yourself. So that is what we recommend to you. Make time for yourself to center. Make time for yourself to surrender, to relax, to go within, and to explore yourself and edit your reality to what you prefer by experiencing what you don't. That is the key here and now for you. We thank you. Can you elaborate more on these appointed liaisons that will be communicating with some of us? What type of information will they be sharing with their contacts? Relating to the idea of these appointed liaisons that have been shared by us, that some of them do represent that of the Argothan network, some of them are extraterrestrial, and again, some have other particular means. But basically, it is no more different than the type of information that we are sharing through this conduit right now. That they all represent insightful information. Because again, it's not about the idea that within your very imminent future, there are beings that are going to come forward and say, hey humans, we are from within your earth, or we are from the stars, and we're coming here to say hello to you all. No, it doesn't work that way. It is that it works together in a certain level of ambassadorial nature. And so that you could understand this conduit, for an example, as a type of ambassador, as a type of contact that is channeling and communicating in this way to what we are sharing. And that these appointed liaisons will come forward and educate some of these other particular forms of ambassadors, contactees in that way, channels, etc., that are in contact with these particular beings, and will give them an educational course about what is truly happening upon your planet. This will lead to more whistleblowers, as you call them, to people who are appointed contacts who will come forward and share through your different types of media. That media may be grassroots, maybe again in, shall we say, higher degrees of media. But again, it will still be some time before this is highly in the mainstream, because your mainstream is still very much controlled by the idea of greed. And so much more of this will be in your grassroots and, shall we say, higher grade levels of grassroots media that will come forward in that sense, allowing themselves to become these particular whistleblowers to share this information. So that is very much similar to what we are doing with this conduit and helping you to understand what's really happening upon your planet, within your planet, beyond your planet. What is happening with your people? What is happening with your states of spiritual evolution? What is moving forward now? How the idea of people-powered organizations are now starting to come online. Other particular civilizations that may exist beyond your world, and a lot more other particular types of criteria. It all depends in regards to the appointed ambassador and the contact that is coming forward, sharing this information for them. So we would state that, again, within your short times ahead, you will notice that there will be more whistleblowers, more contactees, more channels coming through in this particular way, sharing their information with you. Because this is the knowledge spreading itself out for you to gain more awareness about what is happening within, upon, and beyond your world. Within the years ahead, will our moon be accessible to members of the human public? It's very challenging to say that, because understand that the moon at this particular time really is not meant for your public. It may be a possibility, this is not a guarantee, but it may be a possibility that when there is, shall we say, a negotiation that takes place, the idea of the moon that you may now know may actually be removed. Now, we're not entirely certain on this at this particular point in time. But the idea in that sense is that what is happening in regards to your moon as it currently stands is not really for your common man, woman, and child to actually see in regards to a state of public form. It is understandable that your moon is not actually from your star system. It has been in your star system for a very long time, but it is not, shall we say, a part of a particular aspect of human wonder or property that relates to the moon. The moon is a monitoring station. It has basically been very largely responsible for maintaining this particular type of situation throughout the generations of time, throughout the ages of your civilizations, to ensure this particular game is going forward in the particular types of alignments that it has been imposed with. And so it is not meant for, shall we say, a public display where you are, shall we say, landing upon the moon and understanding more about what's there. So we cannot guarantee the idea that the moon will be removed. It is in that sense at best 50-50. But right now in that sense, much of your astronauts, of your agencies that have represented, shall we say, public arenas, have been told to remain off the moon. It is not for their particular form of attention to come upon that particular space. This space is a monitoring station that holds other particular races that are observing your world. And so it is something that what you could refer to as a type of private property. And so it is unlikely that the public will, in the next few years, actually be able to go upon the moon and, shall we say, look around. So again, this is why your moon has been very discreet in it maintaining a static orbit in regards to, shall we say, not revolving in that way, simply rotating around your planet and not showing the dark side of the moon, because that is where 95% of the activity is taking place relating to monitoring. So this is again why there has been such a strict uphold of that particular aspect, because there are certain beings upon the moon that are working together in similar agendas to yourselves, and there are those who are not. And it in that sense has been something that relates to a truce, and that they are basically there monitoring humanity as part of the 22 different genetic program experiments that are taking place. So you can understand it as a monitoring station, as an observatory, and as a laboratory. So again, it would be considered the idea of being somewhat of an extraterrestrial private property station. So again, very unlikely within the next few years that your moon in that way will be available to the public. Is it possible to describe what sort of tasks are being performed behind the scenes to ensure our world and its life upon her surface are being cared for during this time of intervention? The type of behind-the-scenes interaction, again, falls behind the idea of what we have called your prisms. and that these represent spherical craft mainly, and that they are working together in different dimensional fabrics, in that way of speaking, as it helps to buffer your particular star system. Now again, the buffering of this energy is intentional, so that you are not being overwhelmed by an overcharging of this particular type of energy that can do more harm than good. So much of the behind the scenes work is, in that sense, being appointed by certain beings. Some of it is, shall we say, operating in regards to beings of a monadic consciousness, where the sphere itself is of its own intelligence. Some of it also relates to artificial intelligence. But the whole idea really is that there are different dimensional areas, dimensional fabrics, dimensional folds that appoint these particular forms of prisms to allow this buffering to take place. And so these prisms, these buffers, these proxies are basically governing the energies as you are transiting into the depths of your own galactic arm, moving further and further into the galaxy. And so because there is a great more intensity of cosmic energy, of cosmic dust, of stardust in that particular way, that is coming forward and has affected your sun. This is why your sun was once known as a yellow star and is now white, because of this transiting through the idea not only of your physical space-time nexus, but also representing the idea of dimensional fronts as well, moving up certain octaves. And that is why this star has changed. So this is basically why we're saying is that you are unfolding yourselves into a new universe, unfolding yourself into a new Earth, into a new star system, into a new star. This is precisely the entire aspect. So much of the behind-the-scenes work is helping to function these prisms, these particular containers, to ensure that your planet is not being bombarded on an overwhelming level. This also represents the idea of certain forms of grid alignment changes, where the gravitation pertaining to your own Earth and your Moon are actually being accommodated very smoothly. So you are not actually starting to notice that these shifts are taking place. It is very much like two magnets holding a piece of steel and being able to very carefully maneuver it left, right, up, down, back, forward. And that this represents the idea of biomagnetism coming together. And that, again, there are certain blasts being brought forward via coronal mass ejections that are coming upon your planet. These are being buffered. And so they are not, shall we say, raw blasts. To actually have raw blasts would actually be to completely extinguish your Earth's protective magnetic field. But the whole idea really is that these are contained and these are sanitized blasts, that the prisms, that the buffers are working with and then distributing evenly in that particular way. So you would understand that when it leaves the sun, these particular prisms capture the dissolving nature of the energy that comes forward from the coronal mass ejection. And it is in that sense evenly distributed like a wave, appropriately in regards to mathematically appointed energetics that will be received by your planet's electromagnetic grid. And that is how it operates. So again, some of these particular types of blasts that are buffered and coming upon your planet can at times create a great deal of magnitude of intensity, as many of you can see when coronal mass ejections happen. But that is all part of the interventional behind-the-scenes plans. There are also other particular types of spacecraft, yes, that operate within your star system, in the outer areas of your star system, and even around your own Earth. Many of them, in that sense, are working together with other particular types of spacecraft that may just be visiting your planet. And they are basically interviewing some of these particular beings. What is their purpose here? Are they looking to trade? Are they simply looking to observe? And so there are patrol units that do, again, maneuver around your Earth. There are, again, certain armadas that are also transiting around your planet. Some are cloaked, some of them will reveal themselves at times. This is, again, how some of them do pop up through the idea of station cameras orbiting some of your space stations. Some of you also being able to see them moving across the sky once every now and then. So again, that is also something that has taken place. Now, we are only giving you a very small amount of information pertaining to what's happening behind the scenes, because truly it's not too important to look at. It is what you would understand as a transient fascination. And so it is more so looking into the idea about what is happening in front of the scenes that represents yourselves. That is more of a paramount importance here that we would like to clarify for you. Adronis, do you have any direct association with the secret space program, the Sphere Being Alliance, or the Blue Avians? If not, how are you sharing this information that seems to corroborate well with several others within the secret space program's insight? We are in no way associated with your secret space program. We are in no way associated with the Sphere Being Alliance. We are in no way associated with the idea of the Blue Avians. We are not associated with any of those particular groups whatsoever. The whole idea in that sense is that everything is one. Everything is connected. That everything is pools relating to information. And that you can simply see yourself as a fisherman dangling your rod and casting your rod into these pools and being able to access this information. That is how we do it. We communicate with the energetics of these particular types of beings. We do not associate with them in that way of, shall we say, direct contacts in that way. But everything is information. It is a matrix. And so basically, we are working together with other appointed states of co-creational energies that work together in sharing the pools of this information. They are therefore corroborating the appropriate amounts of data to share together with us that we are then able to share with the conduit. Now, much is heavily filtered because there's only so much that you are able to know at this particular point in your state of evolution. But we do not work in any particular way, shape, or form with any of the associations mentioned. We are part of what is known as an association of worlds. Now again, that is basically our particular form of criteria, our agenda in that way. We work very, very differently. There are many different appointed groups within your star system, not just the idea of these particular aforementioned ones, but many others. They have all in that sense been contracted in some shape, way, or form to your star system, to your planet, and to some of you, because that is the arrangement in regards to these agreements. So there is a pooling of knowledge that is always going to be shared. It is always interconnectedness. It is always the idea of these energies that are willing to be shared, that are willing to be conversed with in that way, to therefore be assimilated and shared and channeled through a conduit like this. And that is how we are able to do it. It is all through the heart of feeling. It is all through the heart of sharing in that particular way, a common source. The only way that there is, shall we say, dilution to the information is the divulgence of the particular interpretation of the information as it is streamed appropriately through the vessel, the conduit, the unit, the terminal that you see here, and again, others that prize in that state of example. So that is precisely how we are able to acquire this information. Nothing is truly hidden within the universe. Everything is source consciousness. Everything is information. We are sharing information in regards to the aspects of courtesy through the idea of love and light sharing that represent permissions appropriate to allow this information to be appropriately conveyed. So that is how we do it. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius. Thank you again. Farewell for this timing, and we now return to the conduit. We will speak to you again, as now is forever, and all is one. Goodbye. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, feel free to go to realitywhisperer.com, private sessions, and a lot more videos, meditations, and so on. So feel free to check out realitywhisperer.com. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you again in the next video. Take care, namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye.